Reaction from President Joe Biden on that deadly encounter. In a statement, the president said Sonya's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways the rest of us do not. Sonya's family deserves justice.
You better effing not, or I'm in your effing face.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into the 2025 updates on Illinois v. Sean Grayson.
Right. And it's complex because you've got three distinct tracks running here.
Exactly. There's the criminal trial itself for the shooting of Sonya Massey.
Then the civil liability part, that huge settlement.
And finally, the legislative reform that came out of it all, the Sonya Massey Act.
And the backdrop is just tragic. Sonya Massey, she called 911 herself, right? For a suspected prowler.
She did, and the whole situation ended with her being shot. But it really blew the lid off this wandering officer problem.
That's the core institutional failure here, I think. Officers with, really bad track records, just bouncing between departments, fired from one place.
And hired by the next, still carrying a badge and gun. It's systemic.
Yeah, it's how someone like Grayson stays on the street despite documented issues.
So let's focus on the criminal trial first. That's happening now. Well, the jury's deliberating.
Right, 3 counts of first-degree murder. And they had to move the trial, didn't they?
Yeah, moved up to Peoria County. Too much local heat and political sensitivity in Sangamon County. Makes sense.
Deliberations started October 28th, and no verdict on day 1.
Which tells you something, right? It suggests the jury's really grappling with the evidence. It's not clear-cut for them.
Definitely. They're likely weighing intent, malice versus the defense's argument, which was justification.
Perceived justification. And it all escalated over something incredibly mundane, a pot of hot water on her stove.
That's right. He enters the house, demands she remove it. It's tense. And then she says something like,
She says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus."
And the defense actually tried to use that phrase, claiming it added to Grayson's perception of a threat. It's quite a stretch.
A real stretch. But then came the body cam footage, which was apparently very graphic, very emotional.
Always powerful evidence. But the defense sticks to reasonable use of force. Until
Grayson's own partner took the stand, Deputy Farley.
Ah, yes. That was huge. What did he say again?
He testified he was not afraid of Sonya Massey. He said he was afraid of Grayson during the incident.
Wow. That just pulls the rug out from under the reasonable officer defense, doesn't it, if your own partner is scared of you?
Absolutely devastating for the defense.
So that gives the jury options. It's not just guilty of first degree or not guilty.
Right. There's that middle ground. Second-degree murder.
Which applies if they think Grayson genuinely feared the threat, the hot water, but that fear was totally unreasonable.
And the sentencing difference is massive. 45 to life for first degree, but maybe just probation? Or 4 to 20 years for second degree. Big stakes.
Huge stakes in that jury room. But while they're deliberating, the institutional accountability, that train already left the station, didn't it?
It did. Months ago, back in February 2025, Sangamon County settled the wrongful death lawsuit.
And it was a record settlement, right? $10 million.
$10 million paid to the Massey family, represented by Ben Crump. That's basically the county saying, yeah, we bear responsibility institutionally.
Regardless of the criminal verdict, that's key. They acknowledge their role in creating the situation.
And that role ties directly back to that wandering officer pattern we mentioned.
Exactly. The investigations laid it bare. Grayson's history, it was extensive. 6
different police agencies, a military discharge for misconduct, serious offense, fired from Kincaid PD for fabricating evidence.
Just bounce from one place to another. It's the kind of history that screams for better checks.
Which leads us to the third track.
Yeah.
The legislative fix. That history, that settlement.
Yeah.
It created momentum.
Right. Governor Pritzker signed the Sonya Massey Act in August 2025.
So what does it actually do?
It tackles the problem head on. It mandates stricter hiring, much more thorough background checks.
Like a centralized database.
Yes, exactly. A statewide database to track misconduct, terminations. The goal is to stop officers fired for cause from just getting hired somewhere else in Illinois.
So it shifts the focus from just punishing after the fact to trying to prevent these situations proactively, building integrity into the hiring process itself.
Precisely. It's about prevention, not just reaction.
So you have the law changed, the massive civil settlement paid out, all before the criminal jury even decides on guilt or innocence.
Shows how these different forms of accountability can work independently. The policy change didn't need to wait for the criminal conviction. It stood on the facts of the institutional failure.
A policy legacy driven by a preventable tragedy.
Yeah. And it really pushes you, the listener, to think about that legal standard in police shootings, objective reasonableness.
How so?
Well, the prosecution argued Grayson basically created the threat himself. He escalated things until he could claim justification.
So the question becomes,
Can an officer's actions be so out of line, so egregious, that they essentially forfeit that protection? Does their own conduct nullify the objective reasonableness defense?
a really tough question.
It is, and it's one that's going to keep shaping law enforcement policy and legal debates moving forward. Definitely something to think about.
So the Massey family was granted $10 million, which is never enough for the police coming in your home to kill you. You call the police for help and they end up killing you. And then on top of that, your family members only get $10 million. Shout out to the partner of that dude for telling the truth and not trying to cover up like the police always do. You know they do that, so. But he was convicted of second-degree murder instead of first. First would have got him 40 to life. So he getting 4 to 20 for second-degree murder. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And you went into her home and end up killing her. Hit that like button. I'm out.
Former Sheriff Deputy Sean Grayson has been found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of Sonya Massey.